essentially, I see AT&T moving a little bit differently today than they have in the past. The way they moved
Undoubtedly.
before was really like super greedy. They didn't care about anything, with the exception of just accruing what they perceive to be wealth acquisitions. Uh, so they're definitely different today compared to the recent past. They have aggressive phone promotions. Their plans are competitive. They offer, all types of rate plans from starter unlimited to these premium access elite plans and such. Is this a new AT&T? Do you feel it's sustainable and permanent?
Well, different leaders make different decisions, right? We had Randall Stevens as CEO. He came to the conclusion that we had maximum penetration in wireless, and that he needed to look somewhere else to increase revenue and profitability.
Roger, could you tell me if you agree with me? I'm not going to say who's the worst CEOs of all time, but let's just say made some of the worst decisions of all time. Gary Forsey and Randall Stevenson.
Yeah.
It has to be, because Gary Forsey, I mean, if you go back to
Dwayne Ackerman too.
Go back to like 2003. I mean, the moves that they did with the whole Nextel acquisition and the issues and everything revolving around it, they were purging 1 million customers a quarter.
Yeah,
that is absurd. And then literally what the decade could have been worse, but Randall Stevenson wasn't able to acquire T-Mobile. Like that. They had to give up a lot of money. They had to give up a lot of spectrum.
Competitor, right?
Right.
Because he was very sure that he would win it. Had to give him $3 billion
and the spectrum and the roaming for 7 years, and
that really helped
T-Mobile.
Turn things around with John Ledger's initiative.
Roger, do you agree? And this is just me. This is from nobody else, so I'm not speaking for anyone. As important as John Ledger was, he didn't have any bullets without the failed AT&T merger. He needed a network. He needed network access. He needed money. He was able to get that all in one fell swoop after the Metro deal.
Yeah, and imagine Sprint would have bought Metro, right? Dan Hesse was pushing very hard to buy Metro, and his board didn't let him.
But he maybe would have pulled it off if they had supported him in that.
Oh yeah, well, if Sprint would have bought Metro, it would have been completely different. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that 40% of gross ads for T-Mobile came from Metro, and vice versa. And so by taking out that choice, inevitably the churn for T-Mobile halved, right? Yeah. One of the big problems that T-Mobile always had was churn.
Yeah.
Awesome acquisition machine, but as quickly as they got the customers in, the other ones keep running out at the back. And so they were treading water because they were recycling customers left and right between Metro and them. And when you integrate it, suddenly, the net ads go through the roof, and because the churn has been halved. So John Ledger gets a lot of credit for all these wonderful ideas, right? And how he revolutionized with the Un-carrier ideas. It wouldn't have mattered half as much without the Metro acquisition. The Metro acquisition is the unsung hero here, and the integration of that operation was one of the best merger integrations I've ever seen. Right? As badly as it went at Sprint, because Sprint they tried to integrate, and at T-Mobile with Metro, and now with Sprint, they're migrating.